In a remote African village surrounded by sprawling plains, the people lived in harmony with nature. The villagers relied entirely on the land for their livelihood. For as long as they could remember, the rains would come in their season, nurturing the crops and ensuring the streams flowed freely. But last 2 years was different. Months had passed without a single drop of rain. The sun burned relentlessly, cracking the earth and draining the streams dry. The once lush fields had turned into barren wastelands, and the villagers' hopes of a harvest were fading. Among the villagers was a farmer named Samuel, who lived with his wife Miriam and their spirited 6-year-old daughter, Ella. Samuel was known for his hard work and quiet strength, but even he could not hide the despair growing within him. Every day, he would rise before dawn and head to the fields, staring at the cloudless sky, hoping for a miracle. At home, Miriam did her best to comfort him. "The rains will come, Samuel," she would say, but her words offered little solace. It was Ella, with her boundless energy and optimism, who seemed untouched by the gloom. Though young, she sensed her father's sadness and was determined to bring a smile back to his face. One evening, Samuel returned home after a long day. His shoulders were slumped, his face lined with exhaustion. Miriam served him a simple meal of boiled roots and herbs, one of the few things left to eat. As they ate in silence, Ella's cheerful voice broke through. "Dad, why are you so sad?" she asked, tilting her head innocently. Samuel managed a faint smile. "I'm worried, my child. The fields are dry, and without rain, our crops will not grow." Ella thought for a moment, then said, "Dad, why don't we ask God for rain? You always tell me that God listens when we truly believe." Samuel looked at her, surprised by her words. "Ella, we have prayed before, but still the rain hasn't come." "But have we all prayed together?" she asked, her eyes shining with conviction. "Maybe God is waiting for us to believe with all our hearts. Let's ask everyone in the village to pray." Her words struck a chord. Samuel exchanged a glance with Miriam, who nodded in agreement. The next morning, Samuel and Ella went from house to house, sharing her idea. At first, many villagers hesitated. They had grown weary of hoping for something that seemed impossible. But Ella's unwavering belief was contagious. "God hasn't forgotten us," she told them confidently. "We just need to show him we believe." Moved by her innocence and determination, the villagers agreed. That evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, every family gathered to pray in their homes. At Samuel's house, Ella insisted they pray together. Samuel, Miriam, and Ella knelt on the hard floor, their hands clasped tightly. "Oh Lord," Samuel began, his voice trembling, "we have worked hard and remained grateful for your blessings. But now we are desperate. Please send rain to save our crops and our village." Miriam bowed her head in silent prayer, tears streaming down her cheeks. Ella's voice rang out clearly, full of innocence and hope. "Dear God, please send rain to our village. My papa is so sad and I want him to smile again. I know you can do it." Her words filled the room with a sense of quiet power. For the first time in months, Samuel felt a flicker of hope in his heart. When the prayers were over, Samuel stood to leave. "I'm going to check on the fields," he said softly. Ella jumped to her feet. "I'll come with you, Dad." She ran inside and returned moments later, clutching an umbrella. Samuel frowned. "Ella, why did you bring an umbrella? The sky is clear and there's no sign of rain." She smiled brightly. "But we just prayed for rain, Dad. If it rains, we'll need the umbrella." Her words stopped Samuel in his tracks. He stared at her innocent face, then looked up at the vast cloudless sky. For a moment, he was speechless. Then he nodded and took her hand. "You're right," he said, his voice filled with emotion. "We should always be prepared for the blessings we ask for." As they walked to the fields, a cool breeze began to stir the air. The stars above started to fade as dark clouds rolled in from the horizon. Ella gasped in delight, pointing to the sky. "Look, Dad, it's coming!" And then the first drops of rain fell, quickly turning into a downpour. Ella laughed and twirled in the rain, her joy infectious. Samuel stood there, letting the rain soak him, overwhelmed by gratitude. Not just for the rain, but for the lesson his little girl had taught him. The villagers emerged from their homes, cheering and dancing in the rain. For the first time in months, their hearts were full of hope. They knew it was Ella's pure belief that had brought the rain. The next morning, the village elder called for a gathering. Standing in the center of the crowd, he spoke with reverence. Ella has shown us something we had forgotten. Faith is not just about asking, it is about believing with all your heart and acting as if your prayers will be answered. Let us always remember this. Ella's story reminds us of the transformative power of belief. It's not enough to hope for something. We must act as though it will come true. Even in our darkest moments, faith combined with action can create miracles. If this story inspired you, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon for more uplifting tales.